US conviction. Also, Minerals Commission takes over Adamus Mines as government assures workers of job security and plans production restart. And much later, the Minister for Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts, Jifa Ablagumachi, says Cabinet has approved the continuation of the ongoing theatre project in Kumasi. Thank you for joining us this morning. We're going to a first story now where the Economic and Organized Crime Office says it has begun tracing funds and assets that may have been linked to the bribery case involving the former Gold Cars banker and former Tema Oil Refinery Managing Director, Asante Kwekubeku. Now, the move follows the conviction in his alleged role in a scheme to bribe Ghanaian government. In connection with the power plants project, Yoko said asset tracing and recovery form a key part of the investigation into the Ghanaian case dimension of the case so far. Now, we're still staying a little longer on this issue because more than a decade after Ghana's emergency power deal with Turkish firm AXA, the bribery allegations surrounding it are back in focus. Former banker Asante Kwekubeku has been convicted in the United States for his role in the scheme, and Yoko says it is now intensifying investigations into the Ghanaian side. Noble Crosbyan follows the money trail and has answered questions for what and who received what.
To understand this case, we have to go back to December 2014. Ghana was in the middle of power shortage, which led to power cuts popularly referred to as Dumso. The country urgently needed more electricity, and Turkish company AXA Energy was pursuing an emergency power project of up to 370 megawatts. At the time, Asante Kwekubeku was an executive director at Goldman Sachs, helping to arrange and manage financing for the transaction. But AXA could not simply arrive in Ghana and begin producing power. The project needed to move through different layers of government, the Power Ministry, Cabinet and Parliament, with institutions including GRIDCO and PURC also involved. In simple terms, several people and institutions had the power to move the deal forward or hold it back, and US prosecutors say that approval process was corrupted with bribes. In 2015, prosecutors say Asante Kwekubeku and others discussed paying $1 million to Ghana's Ministry of Power. Around the same period, 5 Ghanaian officials were flown to Turkey to inspect AXA's equipment. Their flights and accommodation were paid for, and the prosecutors say each received $5,000 in cash. Then the money trail widened. Internal records cited in the case contain entries for PURC, GRIDCO engineers, a power team, and Parliament. After Parliament approved the power agreement in July 2015, prosecutors say Beku and his associates discussed about $250,000 in bribes to various individuals, including $46,000 paid to members of Parliament. The US case says the payments were heading through shell companies, false invoices, nominee accounts, and cash withdrawals. Beku also used personal emails and misled Goldman Sachs' own compliance team. Goldman eventually pulled out of the transaction because of corruption concerns, and because part of the money moved through US bank accounts, the trail eventually led to an American courtroom.
Meanwhile, the executive director for Transparency International, Mariada, says information reaching them exists for local authorities to take action to bring the matter to close. She spoke on News 360.
From an anti-corruption perspective, it's a sad reflection of the enforcement asymmetry between jurisdictions, which we continue to be known. We realized from the case that the U.S. SEC brought their Foreign Corrupt Practices Act into bear when it talked about the civil issues. And we realized with certainty the way the process went in the United States of America. This raises the issues of legitimacy and commitment when it comes to the fight against corruption in our jurisdiction. And it is interesting that after the indictment, we see state officials now begin to give some credence to the fact that they need to act. And so there are directives that are going up and down within the state. We heard from the Office of the Special Prosecutor on Friday as to the part they played in this indictment and during the trial processes by giving evidence. Today we have heard from Yuko. And for me, one thing is clear, that crime is not time-bound. And so, if the U.S. has been able to secure an indictment and conviction, then Ghana must also then step up and see how we can also deal with this issue. Now we hear people were employed and giving money, including our parliamentarians, to then fast-track this process. So it is incumbent on us that as government has committed to this research agenda, all we expect is that whether it was 20 years ago or 10 years ago, we are expecting some action here.
Now we're moving away from the AXA conversation because the Minister for Tourism, Culture and Creative Chifa Ablagomashi says Cabinet has approved the continuation of the ongoing theatre project in Kumasi. She made this known when she took her turn at Government's Accountability Series.
International tourist arrivals reached 1,303,962 people in 2025, which is an increase over the 2024 figure of 1,288,804. Domestic tourism grew from 1.68 million visits in 2024 to 1.7 million visits in 2025, representing 7% growth. The total revenue generated from the arrivals in 2025 is 4.34 billion. I beg your pardon. The 10 most visited attractions in Ghana combined to draw 1,377,588 visitors in 2025. This accounted for roughly 77% of all domestic tourism site visits nationwide. These sites are Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park, Kakum National Park, Bunsu Aboritum Eco Park, Cape Coast Castle, Menchia Palace, Kumasi Zoo, Accra Zoo, Elmina Castle, Shai Hills Resource Reserve, and Abri Botanical Gardens. May I add real quick that 3 out of the 10 are directly under the ministry. The others are handled differently from the ministry.
Now, away from tourism, the Lands Minister Emmanuel Amakofibua has ordered the Minerals Commission to seize full control of Adamu's resources mining effective immediately, promising workers that their jobs are safe as officials push to restart for full operation. From the Western region, Irama Smith has more in this report.
Government has upheld the revocation of Adamu's Resources' mining lease, a decision first triggered back in April by a Minerals Commission report citing grave violations of the country's mining laws. Among the findings, illegal subcontracting without ministerial consent, mining without permit, environmental degradation, and foreign nationals operating outside designated areas. Adamus petitioned against the move, prompting a ministerial review. Now, with that review complete, Lands Minister Emmanuel Amakofibua says the revocation stands, but the focus is now on the future. The Minerals Commission is taking administrative control to clear outstanding salaries, restart the processing plant, resolve safety issues, and protect workers' jobs.
And I have concluded as a minister to uphold the revocation. What that means going forward is that the Minerals Commission should, with immediate effect, take administrative control of this mine. Work with you to ensure that workers are paid, and work to make sure that the processing plant is up and running and all the safety issues addressed. Take remedial measures to also ensure.
The minister stressed that the government was interested in creating the conditions for the mine to attract the necessary capital and technical investment required to expand and transform its operations.
The overarching objective is to make sure that this mine is working actively and the right investments that will expand this mine and make sure that we can ensure the security of jobs for workers here. And that is our preoccupation, that we protect not only the sanctity of this mine, but jobs of employees, which is really the preoccupation of the president. But I think it's also very critical that my understanding is that there has not been, a lot of them have not only been paid, but have been made redundant. I think that has to be addressed with immediate effect and make sure they come back to work. And then we can make sure that the next steps are taken.
Irama Smith, TV3 News, Western Region.
Now, the Minister for Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts, Chifa Ablagomashi, says Cabinet has approved the continuation of the ongoing theatre project in Kumasi. She made this known when she took her turn at Government Accountability Series.
6. Rehabilitate the National Theatre of Ghana in Accra and commence plans to build a second national theatre in Kumasi. I've given you that report, but let me add quickly that I took a tour of the Ashanti region's the theatre spaces and Center for National Culture Spaces. And I've suggested to Cabinet that instead of starting a new one, we focus on finishing what has been started. And Cabinet is in approval of that suggestion. So that's what is going to happen. And then if the opportunity comes, we start a new one.
Now, alcohol consumption is linked to several cancers, including liver, breast, bowel, and esophageal cancer. As treatment cost rises and access to medicines remains a challenge, researchers are turning to medicinal plants of possible treatment options for alcohol-related diseases. There's more in the following report.
Alcohol-related diseases continue to strain families in Ghana's healthcare system. Data shows 8.8% of adults in Ghana die prematurely from chronic liver disease. A new CSIR Water Research Institute study is assessing medicinal plants for safer and more affordable treatment options. Dr. Frank Edu Inti says the 2-year project, running until May 2028, will scientifically validate selected herbal medicines for effectiveness and safety.
This is indigenous knowledge that we are going to explore and then to validate this indigenous knowledge we have. And you know, most of the side effects that comes as a result of the orthodox medicines, as well as how expensive it is. In Ghana, most of the drugs for alcohol-induced liver disease are not available. So people really don't assess these things. And there are medicines out there which are not scientifically validated. So our work is going to validate the product that this is coming from a research lab.
He stressed that the study is not promoting alcohol use, but seeking alternative treatment for those suffering from alcohol-related diseases.
It's very true that this one can motivate people to drink, but we also believe that there are others who, because of their genetic makeup, will drink 1 or 2 bottles of whatever alcoholic drink and then they are going to suffer. And there are people who genuinely want to stop alcohol, but because they already have the condition, what about them? So if we are not promoting people to drink, but we also cannot let people suffer for maybe some mistake that now they regret that they want to come out from.
Meanwhile, regulator, the Traditional Medicine Practice Council, says it has shut down more than 100 unlicensed operators in Greater Accra and 30 in the Ashanti region as it intensifies regulation of traditional medicine practice.
Since 2025, a continuous special compliance activity going on nationwide. We have closed down a number. We've come up with a lot of information around those who have remained unlicensed, have just refused to unlicense. There was a particular practitioner that was unlicensed up to 11 years. We came across a facility that was using SHS students to provide traditional medicine. In Kumasi alone, we reviewed 55 facilities and closed down about 30. And in Greater Accra, we've closed down over 100 facilities that are non-compliant.
Beatrice Soa, TV3 News, Accra.
Now, away from that, victims of the June 29 flood disaster say they are still struggling to recover after losing their homes and properties to the floods. Well, NADMO says it has received adequate relief support, including supplies worth $100 million from the United Arab Emirates to support affected communities. The minister in charge of climate change is calling for the retooling of the NADMO to support and strengthen its capacity to prevent and respond to future disasters.
The June 29 floods left a trail of destruction across parts of southern Ghana, particularly in the Greater Accra region. Homes, businesses and critical infrastructure were damaged, while thousands of residents were left in need of emergency assistance. In the weeks following the disaster, relief efforts have shifted from rescue operations to providing food, shelter and other basic necessities to affected households. The United Arab Emirates is now adding its support to that response. The minister responsible for climate change received relief items valued at $1 million on behalf of NADMO.
NADMOs must be resourced. What we are doing is not only distributing rice and sugar and things. We are expecting that we will have that support, that people will invest in equipment, so that we can present that to NADMO to assist them in, the work that they are mandated to do.
Director General of NADMO says the organization has so far received enough relief items to reach all affected victims.
Some of these things are preventable if the organization is well resourced. If we have our own excavators, we have our own tipper trucks, we have our own payloaders, we have other disaster monitoring gadgets. NADMO will be in position to put this country in readiness to face these emergencies that do occur.
But beyond emergency relief, NADMO says it needs the capacity to respond more effectively and prevent disasters from escalating. The UAE Ministry of Foreign Affairs had earlier expressed solidarity with Ghana following the disaster and conveyed condolences to the families of those who lost their lives. The donation adds to humanitarian dimension to the growing cooperation between Ghana and the United Arab Emirates. In all, the UAE presented items worth $1 million.
Let's do business news now, as the board chair for the Securities and Exchange Commission, Dr. Edouanani Entry, is calling for urgent review of Ghana's corporate insolvency framework to give depositors strong protection when financial institutions go into liquidation. He argues that depositors are the core of the banking business and should not be treated like ordinary unsecured creditors after entrusting their funds into financial institutions.
Dr. Edouanani Entry says Section 107 of the Corporate Insolvency and Restructuring Act places depositors too low in the order of priority during liquidation, despite their funds being the primary source of financing for banks and other deposit-taking institutions.
Under the law, it's like the depositors are only placed above shareholders. preference shareholders and ordinary shareholders. That is how bad I think our law is, that it doesn't give a serious attention to depositors' funds.
The SEC board chair says the law must therefore be amended to create a special framework for financial institutions, arguing that stronger protection for depositors will also help preserve investor confidence in the financial sector.
As for liquidation or whatever, it's like death. You can't write it away. Definitely a company, one or two companies may suffer going into distress and entry into liquidation. But if it's a financial institution, I think that we should make the provision better to cater for the depositors who have given their money to you, because those I call it trust money. There's an element of trust.
And that's our package for you this morning. For more news, please check our website at 3news.com. I am Enyunam Haliga. New Day continues after the break.
Hello, my name is Pamela from customer service. Please
what had been a judgment by the Justice Department of the United States of America, of course, communicated by not only that department but also the FBI, involving a Ghanaian a U.S. citizen of Ghanaian origin, so to speak, one-time managing director of the Tema refinery, and now it's blossomed into various reactions. So we have to talk about it. I heard Katie Hammond questioning Kemini and said she was cross-examining him, so to speak. But, you know, Katie Hammond is the lawyer representing the former Power Minister, Dr. Kwabena Donko, on the AXA Energy scandal, so to speak. And we know that the Attorney General has already indicated investigations will be undertaken to get to know the Ghanaians of government officials who were involved, who, so to speak, were also not named in the judgment in the first place. So we'll get to know.
And government relative.
Yes.
And so on. Why are names not mentioned in reports of that nature?
Okay. I think that because those proceedings are jurisdiction based, they usually would not have maybe the position of those individuals who are named. So they look at the actions or omissions that were committed or undertaken by those individuals who are standing trial in that very jurisdiction. So that
without naming them.
Yeah, yes.
I've always wondered
because
about
you never
that.
know, you go and name, and after thorough investigation by the country in respect of those that are named in a certain investigation or activity are not the ones that are culpable, then what do you do? It also means that they could take some legal actions against the United States of America.
Well, it's a story that's still unfolding, and investigations are still ongoing on our side, on the Ghana side of things. And so we look forward to a conversation.
I think clearly
on the
what this also portends is that the negotiations might have started in the last 2 years of the John Mahama administration for his first term, but they seem to have also ended in the Akufo-Addo Bawumia administration as well, because that was when AXA then began full operation subsequently. But the clarion call and then the public opinion that seemed to run across is that whoever is culpable or is guilty needs to face the rigors of the law. Well, public opinion these days strung a lot of people even before they are able to get the opportunity to react.
You will be tried and convicted in the court of public opinion before you get your day in court. That's the age we are in now. And you know, we know that the judiciary or our judges are supposed to be or are independent. So if you are named in matters like this, and you are tried in the court of public opinion, then you hope and pray that it just remains over there and doesn't affect things or matters in your proceedings and so on. But anyway, this is something we're going to go into further on big issues this morning. And so I look forward to that conversation. But let me give a very special good morning, special greetings to the people of Teshi. We started our Homowo festivities yesterday.
Did I see you in one of the videos?
Yeah.
Or it was pre-recorded?
No, it wasn't pre-recorded. I was live in the community for 3 days, touring the various Bashimo groups to talk about peace and togetherness ahead of the festival. But yesterday was a Beminla. That's the first ceremony. The first formal ceremony for Homowo to begin for the people of Teshi, and it ends in the first week of September. And so me hanya afi na akpewo panyo aninawo wo yegbe na what's the agbobene what trashing alon tedi nko akaba for what thing ke wo jebule what jenuno ni nyami afi nyami ni momo ke shere mo ke no ya afi wo no cha ni o mani papa bla. You say here. Say Chano Maniabro. Here. Thank you very much. So, and shouts to Israel Ajete Ochema, the MCE for Leje Kuku, aka Kuzo, to Reese Niamakwe, to Honorable Farouk, to Honorable Lampard, to all the people.
The Bills man.
No. Not him. To all the members of the assembly who are doing everything possible to make sure that this year's Homowo is beautiful, is peaceful, goes well, and is one to remember. Thank you for the good work you're doing for the community. We salute you, all of you. God bless you. And I'm looking forward to Pashimo. Roland, I'm inviting you to Pashimo. Everywhere I invite you, you don't come. I invite you to come and watch my place, you don't come. I invite you out to lunch, you don't come. I invite you out to breakfast, you don't come. I'd like to invite you to Pashimo
just
this
tell
year.
me the day and we'll go together.
It's on the 5th of September and the 30th of August.
We'll go.
You have to wear shorts. You have running shorts?
Yeah, sure.
I've never seen you in shorts, Roland.
Yeah, but we don't live together. How can you see me?
Do you have to live with someone to see them in running shorts?
Yeah, you're the only one who goes to gym and film it and put it on TV.
Oh, Lord of mercy.
But you live your life.
Roland,
because you don't.
One of these days, I'm going to turn the camera around because people don't know that Roland takes my workout videos at the gym. One of these days, I'm just going to turn the camera around so everybody will see you.
That thing that you have been saying.
Anyway, we're going to go into this morning's conversation in a moment. Yesterday, there was a very interesting news report about a level 100 UDS student who is working in the market as a kayayo. Now, the conversations about kayaye in our markets and how over the years rural-urban migration has led to, or the seeking of greener pastures has led to a lot of young people in various parts of the country migrating to Accra, seeking a better life, greener pastures, opportunity to earn an income and take money back home. We've seen a lot of our young women, especially, working here at the Makola market and other major markets as head potters, also known as kayaye, or kayayo is singular, kayaye plural. Now, their conditions are not the best. Some of them live under very deplorable conditions. In fact, much worse than is in their hometowns. And you wonder why they would want to leave the comfort of their homes to come and live or sleep on the sidewalks, open to the weather, to all the possible dangers at night, of the night. A lot of them have reported cases of sexual abuse and violence, physical violence, loss of money, robbery, illness. The list is endless, and yet they continue to come. There has been a new dimension to the conversation, and this new dimension is that of climate change. That because of climate change and the unpredictability of the weather, among other things, even those who would rather live in their home towns and farm or do other business are not able to, because the rains are not like they used to be. The heat is destroying their crops. They are not getting enough resources to properly farm like they used to. And so even if they want to stay, they cannot, because things are not like they used to be. And so coming to Accra and other major cities seems like the best alternative. Well, TV3, our newsroom, is leading the conversation on climate change and how it affects the economic situations and economic well-being of persons in some parts of the country, in fact, the entire country. And this conversation will happen tomorrow. We'll give you more information about that. But for this morning, we're going to turn our attention to our kayaye, especially Our Lady, the level 200 student of UDS, who's working as a kayayo. Roland, we keep saying that it's nice to see a lot of our Gen Zs veering into all sorts of businesses. You know, it's not unusual to find a university student who has a side hustle. Before, students went to school and their parents just took care of them. But now our young people are very industrious. They are in school, they are selling sobolo, they have a hair business, they have a jewelry business. There are businesses. Like, you go on social media and young people are using their pages to sell. They're using their pages to do all sorts. And I say this positively. It's nice to see. So when I saw the post and the news story about this university student working as a kayayo, I asked myself if this was one of the entrepreneurial ventures that we should encourage or be impressed by, that students are undertaking, or should it be a source of concern for us? Let us know what your thoughts are. We're going to put up our WhatsApp number in a moment. Well, it's up on the screen already. You can give us a WhatsApp. You can send us a WhatsApp message. Let us know what your thoughts are. And if you are a young person in the university and you are undertaking any entrepreneurial venture, you can also reach out to us and let us know what it is and how it is, especially if you are coming from outside of the major cities into the major cities like Accra, Takoradi, Kumasi, and so on, to school. Let us hear from you. It's now time for This Morning. Welcome back. You're watching TV3 Newday. It's now time for Big Issues. You can connect with us via our WhatsApp number. It's on the screen. Send us a WhatsApp message. Let us know what's on your mind and what you're thinking. In particular, we're talking this morning about a UDS students, level 200 UDS students. We'll show you the story in a minute. Yes. Let's take a look at this story. We'll be right back. All right. Before we bring you that story, we have a student, a level 200 UDS student who we spoke to yesterday. Now, this student also works in the market as a head porter, also known as a kayayo. And this is a source of income for her to support her while in school. We know that we are encouraging entrepreneurship among young people. We are particularly encouraging young people not to 100% depend on their parents while in school. And it prepares them, mentally for the world of work at a time where we say, let's not depend on the government. Let's not depend on the government for work. Private sector can thrive. Entrepreneurship is the way to go. Well, she's chosen to be a kayayo. What are your thoughts on this? And if you're a parent also, we'd like to hear from you. What are your thoughts on this? If you found out that your child who's in the university now works as a kayayo, as a way of earning some little extra money on the side for school, how would you receive this information? Let us know. We're going to bring you just a short insert of Our Lady, our UDS student who's currently working as a kayayo. Let's take a look.
It's a busy morning here at Tudu, which is within the Central Business District at Accra, here in the Greater Accra region. And as you can see, very busy. People from all walks of life doing the business, and of course the traders here as well. But we're still on the subject of climate change and its impact or rippling effect on migration. And I've already mentioned
We'll bring back that insert, but that's an insert of my colleague Beatrice Edu yesterday speaking to a young UDS student, level 200. She's working as a kayayo. Now, this conversation is important because of the broader conversation on climate change and its effect on socio-economic development and how it especially affects brothers and sisters in the northern parts of our country, farming, and other economic activities. We see that the rural-urban migration, according to data available, we'll bring you the numbers and details shortly. There are more young people migrating to major cities like Accra, Kumasi, and Takoradi to do jobs that they believe are best given their circumstances. Now, they're saying that their parents are struggling. They're going through a lot They're going through a lot, and they have to find a way, basically, to make a living. They would much rather sleep on the sidewalks, open to the weather and all the dangers of the night, than stay in their hometowns and do the jobs that were previously, beneficial to them. For example, farming. But now the rains are not like they used to be. Unpredictable weather conditions and so on have made those other sources of income difficult to predict or even to thrive. And so they're coming to Accra, and it's getting worse by the minute. Tomorrow we'll have a larger conversation with stakeholders here. This conversation is championed by TV3 and Media General. We'll bring you details about that. But for now, we're going to read some of your messages coming in on this matter. Roland, we have some messages?
Well, we have a couple of messages. And then Kofi Kwatingam and Kukro, you celebrate your birthday. Happy birthday to you. He's a regular watcher and then also one of the lead politicians, always following our conversation this morning. Kofi Kwatingam and Kukro. And then this message also is coming from Chief Mante to the wife, marked her birthday over the weekend, and Chief Mante is in Akosombo. Mrs. Vivian Mante, formerly of the Volta River Authority, good morning to you. A blessed annual birthday to you. And so far we have a lot of comments. Kwame Edu says that interesting conversation so far. You would find that we've been learning about Kayaye in our textbook since the 1990s, and we are in 2026 and still talking about Kayaye and then rural-urban migration. We just don't have any solution to anything in this country, you say. And then also Philip Abuchi says, and Philip Abuchi is commenting from the Keta constituency, and says the Honorable Apenyo Makin, the Member of Parliament for the Efutu constituency, donated 40,000 to the Chemasina High School. But he says you want to commend him because also that is your hometown, my hometown, and his hometown as well. So congratulations to everybody else. And then also TV3, thank you for the lovely and spirited field song this morning. Indeed, I have a very big God, and that is coming from Mayor Emmanuel Senyo Amekplenu, who says that he's contesting for the Volta Regional Youth Organizer for the MPP. He's number 2 on the ballot, and we wish you all the best, Senyo, Mayor. But we have a couple of comments related to the subject. So we'll go to Zeblaim Ishmael from Tamale, who says that it will interest Ghanaians to know that in an effort to save the lives of citizens living around water bodies where their means of commute often involves the use of canoes, boats, and others, the Ghana Maritime Authority has organized a stakeholders engagement dubbed Life Jacket for Safety and Livelihoods campaign. And you say that the Ghana Maritime Authority secured 20,000 life jackets for distribution to boat operators at a subsidized rate of 250 Ghana cedis. And operators who buy more than 5 jackets will then receive additional 20 Ghana cedis rebates per jacket. And you're thanking Dr. Kamaldeen Ali, the Director General of the Ghana Maritime Authority. And then this one also, he or she is working to be able to pay accommodation fee by Napoleon in Tumu, Sankofa base, in relation to the university student who is down south to make sure that she's able to get something to school, a university student for UDS. Those days we normally say I'm off from home to feed home, but it's hard now. But congratulations to the lady trying to bring herself up and be proud of the woman she always dreams to become. Though the Kayaye or the Kayaye is not a good phenomenon compared to education, it's better than those sleeping with men in the name of hookups. And let me commend the Vice President, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, for letting the MMDCs know what they would be promoted or demoted for. Some are doing well, and some too are not doing well at all. And I think they have to to go, period. And subsequently, it's very sad to see young ladies on the street of Accra or in the name of Kayayo. Very sad phenomenon. And so we'll speak to some key stakeholders on the subject. Remember, we have a whole stakeholder engagement on the subject as well. And for our climate resilient talks, we're putting together a whole package at the Akayet Hotel tomorrow. And that is Bolga, the Upper East Regional Capital. And we're looking at climate resilience and then sustainable livelihoods. What then prompts individuals as well as communities and people who are affected by climate change to drift from their places of abode and residence and where they can make a living to others. And so it's themed building climate security resilience in Ghana and climate-driven migration and its impact in Ghana's Upper East region. And so we're going to have Ambassador Langshot, who will be with us for this auspicious event to make sure that we broaden the conversation broadly about climate change. And when climate change is talked about, people tend to think that it's only about water-related changes in the climate and its effect on the environment, but also general effect on the green vegetation. And we know that for many areas in the northern half of the country, they are very savanna-ridden areas. And so it also means that when climate change tends to affect the land, the green vegetation of the land, it also means by which they can grow food and then till the land become things of a difficulty for many people, and so that has to be put into perspective as well. Sherry Giovanni is an educationist, so we'll also take his view. Samuel, good morning to you. He said, Dr. Bawumia, being a visionary leader, tried to take away these Kayayes from the street before losing the 2024 elections. The Kayaye should have hope come 2029. Their savior will be Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, who will be president of the Republic of Ghana, and the ticket of the MPP, Sherry Giovanni, giving us that message. So Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is a savior of the Kayaye come 2029. And then we have more comments coming through. Mr. Stephen Peng, good morning to you, Mr. Stephen Peng. He says that her Beatrice was to interview a Kayaye, supposed to be a student of the UDS. Yes, she did. I suspect the Kayaye is impersonating a student of my noble UDS will not stoop that low. Well, so she's a student, but she's trying to earn a living, or a living, by getting money so that she can go back when school resumes. So she's on break now. So Dr. Stephen Peng. All right. So we have more comments coming through. And this one is coming from PHK, says that Peter Mensah, Deputy CEO for Tema Shipyard, you celebrate your birthday, and it's coming from PHK also. And then Diana Kpeng lives in Tamale. Good morning to you, Diana Kpeng. I wish you all the best for the day. And her message is very simple. He says that to me, Kayayo is far better than most of the stuff some ladies involve themselves in, or in the name of survival. However, it also comes with its own issues or consequences. They are mostly abused too, so nowhere cool. Very important for us to also get to have those. Okay, so we'll put that into perspective. But so our lead producer is getting some key stakeholders for her to speak to, then we'll also get to her. So this one is coming for Brenda. Brenda says that I was once at Makola, and a lady who helped carry my things to my car at the Tema station, after I gave her money, told me she also had to take her daughter to the hospital, and the circumstances under which she got pregnant, if I tell you, my brother, you will be very sad. And so he said we need to do more beyond what we've been doing for these young ladies. We could also give them meaningful means of making money than just resorting to what they are doing currently. Happy birthday to you, Stanley Aban, researcher of currency unions, teacher of minds, the builder of knowledge. Happy birthday to you. And it's coming from Brenda in Tridonko, Radio of Media General. Wishing you all the best for the day as well. And now, I'm told you have more.
Yes, but before we go into more messages, TV3 is now taking climate talks to the Upper East region. As part of TV3's Climate Talks 2026, we're heading to Bolgatanga, and we're bringing you an all-important conversation on climate-driven migration and its impact on communities in Ghana's Upper East region. The discussion tomorrow will examine how changing weather patterns, prolonged dry seasons, and effects of climate change are affecting livelihoods, particularly agriculture, and how these challenges are now influencing migration to Accra and other areas for better opportunities. The TV3 Climate Talks 2026 is themed Building Climate Security Resilience in Ghana. And it's happening tomorrow, the 12th of August, at 10 a.m. at Akayat Hotel in Bolgatanga. And the special guest for this conversation will be the German ambassador to Ghana, His Excellency Frederick Landschaft. And we'll bring it to you live on TV3 and across all our digital platforms. And so look out for that tomorrow. Climate change is not only about the environment, it's increasingly shaping where people live and how they make a living and why they move. So join us for this all-important conversation, and it will be coming to us live from Bolgatanga. We know that the Northern Regional Minister has said that climate change is now one of the biggest threats to Ghana's socio-economic development, and we can't help but agree. Climate change is one of Ghana's biggest problems when it comes to socio-economic development. This conversation about climate change began long ago, and it sounded like something very foreign to us, like something that would not affect us in terms of the economy. Well, now it is. And I think we had this conversation once on this show about the fact that we see a lot of new real estate companies springing up estates all over the place. It's very nice to see. The box houses are all nice. But if you've ever run along the, Roland, if you've ever walked or driven or run along the Aimensa Peduase route, some time ago, I used to run there about 10, 12 years ago, and it was all green and beautiful. Now, the real estate companies are taking over. They are felling all the trees, not replacing them, and buildings are springing up. So the area which once had a nice forest cover is now all brick and mortar. My question is why we can't preserve some of the trees at least. Of course, we know people are buying land, and the land belongs to them. But why don't we have any policy which requires that we preserve some of our trees? Because we go and we shave the whole land, and then we build these houses, we don't replace the trees, and we talk about climate change. And we keep talking about climate change. And now it's affecting rural-urban migration. And we're still cutting down the trees and not replacing them.
Yeah, particularly when the flooding situation intensified. And as you know, just about 2 months ago, it was a big issue. Now we've forgotten, right? And it's one of the issues that the urban planners, and particularly those who tend to watch hydrological services agency and many of them like that, raising questions about how a lack of policy and then the inability to enforce proper building permits has exacerbated the situation.
Do we have any?
And that's the reason why we have that.
Do we have any policy which requires that we preserve or maintain some of our trees at least? If you buy land, especially in certain areas, like certain areas that have large forest covers, like in the Peduase Ebri enclave.
Yeah, naturally, when you look at the regulations for the Environmental Protection Agency, the Forestry Commission as well, yes, you cannot just fell trees in forests. Even if you go and own the land, you need to go through processes to be able to get proper permission to be able to do that. So that also is there. Then secondly, also within the various bylaws for the metropolitan, municipal and district assemblies, that also enjoins them to be able to protect that by way of the permit that you need to be able to develop your land, irrespective of whether there's transfer of title to you, etc. And I think that is the lack of enforcement of these regulations that have resulted to some of these things. And you find that when you go up north, for which we've been studying decades as to the effect of climate change on the environment, you find that people are felling the few trees that are available, and then the savanna-like vegetative cover that they have are also being destroyed for various reasons, whether it's for farming purposes. Now they have illegal mining that's also taking place in certain areas up north, and then also indiscriminate destruction to the environment, which is not recourse to what the bylaws are for the various metropolitan municipal and district assemblies as well. And I think that it's what the Vice President said. If you're not working, then it also means that we need to take the action. If you're somebody who has been appointed as an MMDCE, I think the appointing authority, that has to be the President per the Constitution, needs to maybe crack the whip better than we're currently doing, because just leaving them to operate the way they are is not creating a very conducive environment for the people to reside, and then also creating a transformational vision for the various areas that they preside over in the first place.
Yeah, and speaking of the appointing authority being or cracking the whip or ensuring that our MMDCs, our MCs and DCs act. Yesterday we had the Vice President speak about holding DCs, MCs, and MMDCs to higher standards when it comes to sanitation, cleanliness, and ensuring that the environment is kept in a pleasant way. Now, she was speaking about cleanliness and sanitation. She says that now sanitation is going to be one of the key KPIs, key performance indicators when it comes to the assessment of the performance of DCs and MCs. And this was in respect of the once a month, general cleaning. What do we call it? General cleaning once a month, which currently
the National
Sanitation Day, which is currently ongoing. Now you are required to ensure that it is a daily matter. It's supposed to be a matter of daily concern, and it's now going to be a KPI. All right, it's now going to be a KPI. And so if you've got rubbish sitting on the side of the road after you cleaned the gutter, and I don't know why we keep doing this, you collect rubbish from the gutter, put it on the side of the road, and it stays there for weeks. And then when it rains, it washes it back into the gutter. And now there's something else we're doing. During the last sanitation day exercise, some of the routes that I use, so the community will take out the sand and the rubbish from the gutters, and they use it to fill the potholes on the road without taking out the rubbish. So they gather the rubbish and the sand and fill the potholes. And so the rubbish is now on the road. And then when it rains or whatever, the cars drive on it. The rubbish has now become part of the road. So you see that there are plastic bags in the ground. And I don't know how we think that is okay. If you're taking out sand from the gutters to fill the potholes, the very least you can do is take out the rubbish, plastic waste. And now it's part of the road, so it's permanent now, and you can't even sweep it off because now it's in the ground, and it's not just in one area. Like when I'm driving home, I see that it's I don't know whose idea it was, but it appears a lot of people think that is okay, and we're doing that now. Well, the Vice President says that now it's a daily matter. Our sanitation is a daily matter. We don't wait for National Sanitation Day once a month, and so our MCEs and our DCEs, it's part of your KPIs now, and your performance will be assessed based on some of these things. You can keep your messages coming in. We'll read them as we go.
And also closely related, the subject matter of the spillage of the Bagri Dam as well. The Tono Dam had been spilled because of it overflowing 8 banks due to constant filling, or so to speak, rains that have been recorded over the period. Rabiu Tanko is our lead correspondent and will be speaking to us about the impending spillage of the Bagri Dam. Good morning to you, Rabiu. The Burkinabe authorities what so far has been the communication with their Ghanaian counterparts? Rabiu? Well, we'll get back to you, Rabiu Tanko, and so we'll take. But let's take a couple of your comments as well. I see Prince Daniel, good morning to you as well. But it is important for all of us to get to know that the situation that is confronting the northern half of the country, especially from the Bono area to the last border post of Ghana up north, is a dire situation which also needs government's attention. I also know that there are a number of activities that are being undertaken by the UN, the World Bank, etc., to preserve the environment. But so far, have we been able to measure the impact, etc.? And that's coming from Mohammed Asibi, giving us this message from Kintampo. You say, good morning to you, Rabiu.
Good morning, Roland.
Yeah. So what has been the communication so far in the run-up or the impending spillage of the Bagre Dam in Burkina Faso from the authorities there to their Ghanaian counterparts?
Yes, thank you very much, Roland, once again. Yesterday, NADMO, Ghana Water Commission received a letter from the Senator the operator of the Bagre Dam, indicating that the water levels have now reached 233.3 meters. And then what is left is about 1 meter for them to spill. So initially, they are supposed to spill at 234. But as of yesterday, the water level had reached 233, less than 1 meter to be filled. But we are not be able to see whether they will be able to spill today, because anything can happen from yesterday up to now. But what is happening now at the river, at the banks of the river, is that the farmers, most of them have relocated to higher, because people have been there since they received the letter from the authority. So there are a lot of contribution that is going on along the white and then the black border from the Boko West up to Telansi, up to the northeast stretch. So what is happening is that, and then most residents who will be affected, you have now located, but some are there with NADMO. As I speak to you, I'm on my way to Nungu in the Telansi district, where one of the chiefs, that the Bigari chief, has procured a boat for the residents to be able to cross the river that is between the Nungu area and then the northeast. Because anytime it rains, and then the split of Bagre Dam, people cannot cross over to do their own things. Business, people from the northeast cannot cross over to Telansi, that is Upper East region, and then vice versa. So right now, the Bigari chief has procured a boat for them to be able to cross when the Bagre Dam is filled, and then the water level at that side you have at April, and residents have been stranded as I speak to you across. So when the Bagre Dam is filled, it will be too much for them. So that is what is happening currently. I'm on my way to that to see what is happening.
Now, critically, it also means that people need to prepare. You are saying that NADMO and CO, they've undertaken some level of enforcement or public education. What has been the structure of the programming by way of the stakeholder engagement that has been done so far in the run-up to the spillage of the Bagre Dam?
Yes, Roland, yes. The Tennessee District NADMO officers were dispatched in zones, in areas that are prone to the flood. What it means is that the select some few members, including the Disaster Management Committee, that established Disaster Management Committee in the various communities that are working with NADMO. So what it means is that they help NADMO go around to the households and then the farmland to educate the people, and then as well as the National Council has also come up with a plan to engage the business who are also engaging the people in the various communities. Other NGOs who have started organizing forums to bring together stakeholders in order to help NADMO and then the Water Commission to be able to see how best they can educate people on this issue. And then the digital assembly, that is Boku West, Talansi, have also engaged with other media houses, that the local radio stations, to sensitize people on the airways.
And so for the communities then, particularly for traditional leaders and opinion leaders, and then community groups, how are they responding to some of these messages that are coming from NADMO, as well as other emergency or disaster relief agencies?
Yes, for now, they are not relying on NADMO relief or any government relief, but it's a difficult thing. So they already know the problem, and that is why they are also mobilizing their own resources when it comes to the traditional rulers. That is why this morning the DBIT has bought a big boat for them to use to, in case the water comes, for them to use. Even after the water level is high, and then they cannot even cross. So as far as they are concerned, they are aware of the danger. So mostly what they told me is that when I went to Palu last week, they said they are doing their own means. They are finding their own means to be able to be safe. They are welcome. Yabo is welcome. In this issue. So Roland, other people don't rely on government because they know the issue that is going to happen. So they are prepared, and then the chiefs and the other youth in the area are only mobilized their own resources in case the unexpected happen.
Well, Tanko, Mohammed or Rabiu Tanko, giving us the latest as it is. That's our Upper East Regional correspondent. And we know that the Bagre Dam will be spilled by officials of Burkina Faso. And usually it's become an annual ritual. And in the wake of this now, a lot of communities are inundated. Property is lost, and then individuals or communities are displaced.
When these spillages occur, when they are done, what exactly are the community members required to do? What's supposed to happen? Are they supposed to move?
Well, so the NADMO, as well as the various security agencies or committees or maybe departments that are located in the various municipalities or the communities that will be affected, usually engage them for them to move away to higher grounds so that they don't get affected personally. But then they live in the wake, their property, their farmlands particularly, because most of them farm along the banks of the various water bodies that are inundated. And then sometimes communities may not necessarily be close to any water body, but they are just on the channel where the spillage water will be passing through. And so then they become victims. And for many of them, by experience, they don't tend to leave, are not willing to relocate, etc.
Because I asked
because it's just for a period.
Yeah, this is annual, though.
Yes, annual.
So even though it's just for a period, it's annual, and annually we record and report destruction to their property, their homes, livelihood, farms, and so on. And so I ask this question because it's important for us to, at some point, consider what the permanent solution to this is. The last time we heard of a spillage, or not of the Bagre Dam, but of the Akosombo Dam, we spent weeks with the people of Mepe and the people of North Tong who were badly affected.
That's true.
A lot of property was destroyed, source of livelihood, schools, hospitals, mothers were displaced. A lot of them had to live in classrooms for weeks while we waited for the water levels to go down. And so every year we talk about this village and the resultant damage that is accompanied with. It's about time we had a wider conversation on how to, I don't know, relocate permanently, if that is possible. I mean, the number of people who are affected, that also raises the question of the practicality of relocation.
Well, for decades, there's been an engineering solution where you create a dam and then you catch the water, so to speak. You collect the water that's been spilled. That's the engineering solution, but I'm not sure we've been able to have the ability to be able to do that. Yesterday, in a related conversation, the Palugu Dam was also mentioned as a buffer, where when then the spillage happens, it can then be collected or be trapped into the Palugu multi-purpose dam, so to speak, and then they could create irrigation.
What's the proximity to the Palugu Dam?
I have to avert my mind, but the point is that when it's from Burkina Faso, so it goes down the stream, the channel, so to speak, and then comes down south. I mean, basically into the Volta, ultimately.
Well, these are some of the matters which are making the rounds in the news. We'll get into some of them further during big issues and also during some of our major news bulletins during the day. In the meantime, you can pick up your day with milky, rich shortcake from Perk. Perk milk shortcake is a pure delight. So grab one today for you and yours and perk up your day. You're watching TV3 Newday. When we come back...
questions, and we're going to take a look at this because *439# then gives you the opportunity to have some money credited into your mobile money account. We know that CSOs, that will be civil society organization, are demanding a review of the AXA Energy Agreement renewal. And after that, what next? And we know that the legal representative for former Power Minister and Pro-East Member of Parliament, Dr. Kwabena Donkor, has been speaking as Katie Hammond. Lawyer Katie Hammond has been responding to a number of issues, particularly from the media, but then again rebuffing others as well. So we'll take a look at that. And the subject matter of the Minerals Commission taking administrative control of Adamu's mining. We know that there are issues about whether there are implications or not. But it also follows a thorough committee investigation that was put together, and then that led to the decision that was taken by the Minerals Commission and backed by stakeholders. Yesterday we saw the Minister for Lands also interacting with workers of Adamus, assuring them that Bibia Bay fine. Or just in case you're joining us, let's also tell you that, please, you can also interact with us as quickly as possible. And let's have some conversations thereof. And please, if you're watching us on Facebook, we're grateful that you've joined us this morning. I see a number of viewers. So Manini Mani, you're watching us from the UK. Or Brimpong Kaba, you're also joining us. We're grateful that you've joined us. Please share the stream. Zilis Dwayne is a Shatta Wale fan, but of course, is also a Liverpool fan, lives in the UK. He'll be going to the Stoneboy concert this 15th of August, Zilis Dwayne. So all the Shatta fans are also converging. Yemole Yemo is also a diplomat for the Republic of Ghana. He's also joining us. Yemole, good morning to you, Your Excellency. It's been a while, and so let's have some conversations this morning. And I have a lawyer, Enoka who has joined us. The last time I saw him with Chairman Wuntumi. He's busily writing. Good morning to you, lawyer.
Good morning.
How are you?
Oh, I'm doing well by God's grace.
Great. And then also Austin Bracco Powers, lawyer as well, has joined us. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Yeah. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Good. Great. He was on the phone before we went. Shadai Adote, I see you as well. You know that we had some reshuffle some few days ago.
Exactly.
We have Ken Gilbert J, who is the defense minister, and then Zaneto Rollins. And Gilbert J, was one time a deputy defense minister as well. So he seems to be very much familiar with the role in a way. What will be your initial comment on Gilbert first, and we'll go to Zaneto?
But I've not really seen much of him. He's not the loud type of person.
Yes, he's a quiet politician.
He's a quiet politician.
And that's what we need for a defense minister, not somebody who talks rough.
Well, I think it's a different conversation. But the thing is that, like I said, I've not really interacted with him, but he's someone I had the opportunity to go through his profile. And he appears he has some certificates and degrees in security and cybercrime, which perhaps may endear or may inure to the benefit of the ministry. But Roland, we must be careful. Sometimes when people are gunning for particular positions, they tend to take courses in a particular field so as to appear as experts in that particular field. We must be careful because it's becoming a trend. And if we don't really put people who have the capabilities, who have exhibited the understanding and the knowledge to fill a particular position, we just move them to certain positions because of their academic credentials, we may not be able to achieve what we are looking for. We are looking for somebody who will be able to command the military brass and also be able to be at the forefront of our intelligence gathering. And in fact, with recent happenings, tell us that our intelligence gathering in a way has been porous at a point. So we need somebody who is top-notch, who can be up the game so that we be able to streamline that conversation. So I wish him all the best. Like I said earlier, he's not the out-and-out politician. So we just pray that he will distinguish himself and work with the military brass because of, within the last 2 years, the military has been in the news for the wrong reasons. And we hope he will be able to stamp his authority so that we get the right work from them.
And we have Zaneto as well. Yes,
phenomenal. In fact, if there's any politician who has comported herself in parliament and even in the country, Dr. Zaneto Rollins is one of them. And you know why? In fact, this is someone that many people try to even fan try to get her to be dissatisfied with the system.
Pitch her against the system.
Exactly, pitch her against the system. Because of the fact that her father established or founded the National Democratic Congress. But she didn't buy into that conversation. She comported herself, and rightly so, she has won her way into the position. Many were saying she should have been sent to the Ministry of Defense. I think this is the best ministry for her. She will distinguish herself, and we are hoping she does well.
How are you? Yeah, Defense Minister Ken Gilbert J, and then also Zaneto Rollins. And what will be your expectations of them so far?
Yeah, let me use this opportunity to say a very good morning to yourself and to extend the greetings of His Excellency, the former Vice President, Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, to the good people of Ghana. It is the prerogative of His Excellency the President to appoint and disappoint. Once he has the power to appoint, he has the power to remove you from office without giving any explanation. And once he has held back and for some time now steadied the people who want to make up his government and selected Kenneth Gilbert, what's the other name?
Gilbert J.
Gilbert J. To the position of Defense Minister. I wish him well in that office because His Excellency knows why he put him there, and I believe that he will deliver the national good. Managing the Defense Ministry of the Republic of Ghana is a huge task because you are in charge of the men who are tasked with the responsibility of protecting our borders and making the country safe, protecting the territorial integrity of this country. And now the ailing condition of this country is galamsey. And once the military has been at the forefront of the fight against illegal mining, popularly known as galamsey, I believe that his leadership will ensure that we nip the issue of galamsey in the back, not to be doing this kind of politics around the issue of galamsey, but we confront it head on and make sure that we achieve the necessary gains as a country in restoring environmental and economic, environmental sustainability, and to ensure that we promote adequately what the natural occurrences of our environment provides for the people of this country. My sister Zaneto Ajamai Rollins, I congratulate her. She's qualified in her stead. She's well prepared. She's well nurtured. She's a consummate Democrat, and I believe that looking at her stead, she will be able to serve in the capacity of Minister of Environment. As a scientist herself, she's a medical doctor, and going into the Ministry of Environment, Science and Technology, I believe that she will bring her experiences to bear and ensure that the nation benefits from her intellect and her policy direction. But my strange consideration as far as the purported reshuffle is concerned is the removal of the Minister for Local Government, Ahmed Ibrahim, where there are several conspiracies surrounding the removal of Ahmed Ibrahim, that because he is a member of the Asirun Ketia team, and because he's a staunch Asirun Ketia member, they just want to take him out because they know that being a local government minister, he controls the grassroots of our country, and that should he be in place, he will be able to lead the frontier for Chairman Asirun Ketia to be the next flag bearer of the NDC. I believe that the president should have considered the competence of Ahmed Ibrahim, not necessarily impugning political motives in this regard. Certainly, once he has changed him, it's his prerogative, and he decides who he wants to put in there.
My question was only related to defense, but and then
my learned brother, Roland, I'm not done. My learned brother, former majority leader, Mahama Yariga, very competent, very eloquent, but the ministry that he has been put in charge, the Ministry of Local Government, now he manages religious affairs and manages chieftaincy. The most dangerous aspect is the Boko conflict, where he is seen to be aligned to a particular faction. Can he manage that with the level of neutrality that requires for him to manage that ministry? Because this is Ghana. And you show Ghana listings.
We're not even discussing. I just asked you in preliminary.
Yeah, preliminary. So these are the preliminary.
I only asked you about Zaneto and then this one.
But why did you leave the others?
It's only two because they are.
But they are also. Mahama Yaya is also new. Mahama Yaya is also new.
Do you want me to cede my time for you?
Elikem, how are you?
I'm very fine, my brother. Good morning.
He's a late Elikem.
Why late?
He's a late Elikem.
Elikem, how are you?
He came in late.
I'm very fine, my brother.
I'm sure you've monitored the AXA Energy conversation.
Yes.
It started off. We know that the ruling came out on Thursday, and Justice Department, the FBI, they put together a whole statement on the matter. Implicated, we know the gentleman, Mr. Bekun, Asante Bekun himself, but it's the role he played, the official that had been named, one of them who should be in office at the time, based on what the period that was spanning the judgment is related to. Dr. Kwabena Donkor says that, well, he's had no encounter with the gentleman. He has also not received any money, which then will be in our space bribes, so to speak. The other individuals also named Committee of Parliament, etc. Where we are currently, it seems to be something that we need to talk about, is that not it? The Attorney General says we're going to investigate.
Yeah, Roland, thank you so much, and good morning once again. First and foremost, may I use the opportunity to wish two persons a happy birthday. A very good friend of mine with Standard Chartered Bank, Eric Kwame Losu, and then my own mother, Madam Victoria Tetega, who is also celebrating her birthday today. In relation to the appointments quickly before, I must say that indeed President Mahama has demonstrated that it was a deliberate it was very deliberate that he didn't make any appointments to the vacant positions over a one-year period in memory and honor of the two ministers that we lost, Dr. Edward Kofi Omane-Boamah and then Dr. Murtala Mohammed. And he again also demonstrated that this country can actually still be run with less than 60 appointees, and you would not have to, you don't need over 125 to run the economy of this country, which saves the public purse a lot. I think it is very wrong for my brother to impugn, and he knows best because he has a law background, based on just an assumption that he thinks that Honorable Ahmed Ibrahim has been moved from somewhere because but he is still being kept within the system, which makes him still run. Or the Ministry of Works and Housing does not have a regional offices, does not relate with people and all of that. So that argument actually falls flat before reasoning. And that is just one thing I wish he knows. Relating to the AXA case, I am happy with how proceedings have gone so far, and also the mere fact that the Deputy Attorney General or the Attorney General's office has made it very clear that after all these, there's a need for them to also look into that matter again, review, and see if there are persons within government here or who were within government at the time that actually were involved in any malpractice. I listened to lawyer Katie Hammond, and also I am aware that the minister at the time, Dr. Kwabena Donkor, has also stated clearly that he knew no such person at the point in time. And therefore, whatever be the case, it only tells you that the current government is also ready to put itself to the litmus test in order to ensure that there's always fairness and the right thing is done at all times. I have also always known that there are always a lot of influence peddlers within, or lobbyists as well, within the
structure of government.
Within the structure of government and the political ecosystem. Because, look, I may be here and somebody else may even be somewhere else, or let me use my brother. He could be somewhere else, and just because he has my number, place a call to me and be very friendly with me. In that friendliness, a third party who is there sitting with him will have the belief that, oh, he knows Elikem. So whatever he's saying that he can get these things done, this, is very possible. And therefore, after that, I may not necessarily even know there's something else going on. But from there, he goes to now tell you, oh, just like I spoke with him, I'll engage him further, and you know, this, that will happen. I didn't want to mention names, but I recall some time back, myself and some foreigners also nearly fell victim to similar situation. And that is what made me become aware of some of these things, because there are some entrepreneurs that is just their business. They are not even necessarily
So there are scenarios you're painting. People will just call you, and in the presence of others, oh, I'm friends with Elikem. You know, the deputy CEO for the Forestry Commission. Oh, he's my great friend. And if you want to, so we'll go to the forest. So don't worry, then you make a call. Elikem, how are you? So I hope everything. The last time we didn't meet, that type of thing.
Exactly.
Just to create the aura.
To create the aura. You see, I have a very good friendship with him, and because probably the fellow may think it's difficult to get to me, etc. And a lot of
it is difficult. These days, you've made it difficult for us to get.
No, I don't think so. And I think that a lot of such scenarios. That is just one scenario I have actually stated. There could be also another scenario where my brother would also actually visit me even in the office, talk about a business or something beautifully, and say we'll come back later. Then he may now go back to tell you that, you know, after him, you cannot go with me to do this one, because... So there are a lot of these scenarios. I am sincerely, you know me, I have always stated without fear that I am harsh, very passionate about matters of this nature, because any form of corruption is actually a threat to life and a denial of opportunity to many others, including particularly teeming youth who are unemployed and need opportunities. It may be a denial of a health facility, a school, etc., or even a road or a program. So these matters, I am happy that the Attorney General's office has made it very clear that they will look into it and take it further in order to ensure that this matter is brought to a logical conclusion, to find out if there were and are persons who did any wrong and be brought to book in that regard.
Elikem, the only instance is that this instant case is a power purchasing agreement. Has to go through some level of parliamentary approval. So there's institutional involvement. It's not minister to investor relationship. And so there are key institutional stakeholders involved, transcending organs of state. Okay. And so the scenario you paint, how is that possible? The influence peddlers and people who tend to arrogate or assign themselves some level of influence within the political establishment to the point that it will get to the states in which it did.
Well, good.
And then yesterday to a lawyer painted a situation in which he said he had represented a client in an agreement, who had undertaken an agreement through the came in through the JIPC, etc. And apparently, a so-called money that was supposed to have been paid by his partners outside didn't get to the state official who was supposed to collect it. So the thing was collected in the state official's name, but it didn't get to the official.
So that exemplifies, in fact, it lays credence to what I said earlier.
Yes, but the institutional aspect.
To even tell you more, just because there are other like parliamentary procedures, etc., that still does not mean that that cannot happen. You would agree with me that, Roland, maybe around this table, if I'm so close to my brother, and in any ways, I need to issue a disclaimer, I do not hold brief for anybody in this situation, because I believe that the right thing must be done. If anybody is found culpable, dealt with according to law punitively in order to deter many others. But for instance, assuming I'm so free with my very brother here, whilst the two of you are not, it is believed that once we strike that very good acquaintance, he probably has access to me, and that access could lead to further access to others. And like you said in the case you just referenced, somebody may also do that, and you will be believing that you have paid Elikem or you have paid my brother, but apparently that didn't get to wherever it is. And it is why it will be very interesting for us to know how this matter will go, because for all you know, at the very beginning, there were people in government. And so to get something through, you would have to make people, your partners, believe that, oh, don't worry, I can get through this, I can do that, I can do that. So even while you will not do it, somebody may even go there with a formula and tell you that, oh, this person will take this, that person will take that. But apparently, it will not get to any of those people, knowing that probably the document or the project is on its own merit, has the potential of going through.
There's also a possibility.
There's also a possibility. You believe that this project it's a fine project, nobody can turn it down. However, I must let them know that, this is how it is, that the culture here is that you must do this, you need to do that. And look, let me give you another example. I recall a certain gentleman. This I never even made the person know, because someone went to tell another person that he knew the former speaker, and therefore joined was it the elections or something? I forgot what it was. The speaker was demanding 5,000 cedis or so for something. And these people, I think some 3 or 4 people, also fell victim to that. Eventually, I met the fellow and was like, boss, you yourself, look at the person we are talking about. You think that he will be demanding 5,000 from you? So you get it. And the vulnerabilities of other people, we want to see this project through and all of that. It does not also rule out that there is that capacity. Somebody may also have engaged you, taken that funds, but not disclose to you where it is coming from. The person will just be like, oh, I have made some moves, I have pushed this to you without disclosure, only for you to now be realizing that this is what exactly happened. So there will be the need for a thorough look into this matter to unravel the truth that surrounds it, so that it is brought to its logical conclusion. I am very happy to even say that fortunately we have a president and a government in place that does not frown on due processes, and therefore would make sure that there will not be interferences in order to unearth the truths in this matter. Yes.
And that is why the thorough investigation is needed.
Very well.
Lawyer Fuakwa.
Yes, certainly. Absolutely, yes. And Roland, we as a people of Ghana are outraged with this issue, why government is so quiet, why the Attorney General is so quiet. Why it took the Deputy Attorney General to send a Facebook message, which has been the order of the day that we are discussing. It is a matter that goes to the root of our country, the foundation of our country. As far as our, oh yes, the Holy Rain. This is the Holy Rain. And this Holy Rain, the better agronomic practices were put in place to receive the Holy Rain for the cultivation of their set crops. In times of why are you laughing? At the time that Ghanaians were willing for sustainable energy supply, people were benefiting from this. And let us set the record straight.
People were allegedly benefiting.
Asante Beko has been convicted. Asante Beko has been convicted. I am a lawyer. I know the words I use. He has been convicted, and we are discussing a judicial process. Matters that has led to the founding of a conviction of Asante Beko.
So the presumption is that the judgment then becomes the official record for which you can
Absolutely. So once he has been convicted, and it is in furtherance of bribery, so the payee has been convicted. So where is the receiver? Who is the receiver? This is where we say we should trace the money. We can't trace the person, but we can trace the money. Because we believe that some of these monies were paid electronically. Because Asante Beko was, there's record. Yeah. There is record that he transfers from 50,000 to his US account. And because they traced the money, they were able to trace where the 50,000 US dollars went to. The account it hit. Yeah. So if we are to trace the money, not the individuals, we will be able to unravel the mystery. We will be able to unravel the Rambo in the jungle. I believe that if this matter affected gravely the opposition element, the adversaries of the government, the Learned Attorney General would have organized a press conference to tell a very good story about this matter and the steps government and the law enforcement agencies of the Republic of Ghana will be taking to ensure that people who are culpable are brought to the temple of justice. People who are culpable are hauled, not even brought, are hauled to the temple of justice.
Why is that critical?
It is critical because in today's Ghana, the security law enforcement agencies, i.e. the BNI, Bureau of National Investigations, the police CID, Cyber Crime Unit of Ghana Police Service, Special Investigations Unit of Ghana Police Service are busily enforcing Section 207 and 208 of the Criminal and Offences Act. 1960 Act 29. Publication of false news and offensive conduct is the bane of the day. That TikTokers, social media activists are being arrested in Rambo style. They can even locate you.
How's that related to this act?
Yes, it is related because this is a gargantuan crime. Corruption, money laundering is a jus cogens. It's an international crime. And once the U.S. counterpart, and I'm happy that they named the Office of Special Prosecutor as one of the agencies that collaborated with them to ensure the conviction of Asante Beku in the U.S. So it means that law enforcement in Ghana are fully aware of these matters. And what has been the contribution, or what has been the actions of law enforcement agencies in Ghana as far as the receivers of the alleged bribes are concerned. The records name a power minister between 2014 and 2015. And the conclusion is that between 2014 and 2015, there is an irresistible conclusion that there was only one power minister. And that power minister was Dr. Kwabena Donko, whose solicitors have issued a notice. Issuing a disclaimer that he has never interacted with the said Asante Beku or even known him physically or received anything from him thereof. Yes. That automatically. No, that automatically. This is a report we are reading. That automatically triggers his presumption of innocence, Article 19 2C. But is that all? This is your word against my word. The record that found a conviction against somebody named the power minister in 2014-2015. This is a judicial document. And that once he has come out, I believe that my sacred advice, my respected opinion, is that if law enforcement agents are not inviting him, he should voluntarily turn himself in. Because I know one thing about Dr. Kwabena Donko, that during the days of Dumso, when he gave timelines that he'll be able to resolve the issue of Dumso at a particular time, and he was unable, he resigned from office. That is integrity.
So if you ascribe integrity to him, why are you then insinuating?
I'm not insinuating. I am not insinuating. He has taken the first step.
Your argument premise on the judgment of the U.S. court.
Roland.
When you know that his solicitors or lawyers have come out.
That is not enough. That is not a judicial decision.
I mean, your public commentary, I mean.
That is not conclusive. That is not conclusive. He has set out his case for the court of public opinion to interrogate him relative to the records from the U.S. court, the Brooklyn court, that indicted Asante Beku and found conviction against him. So once he has come out openly, I believe that if he has integrity to protect in respect of this matter, he should voluntarily turn himself in to the law enforcement agencies of this republic to commission an investigation if the government is not doing same. Again, there was this, it says, what senior advisor to the minister, who was also alleged...
Technical advisor.
Technical advisor, who was alleged to have taken also $250,000. There were some members of parliament, a team of 5 persons who visited Turkey to inspect the power plants. And they also, it's alleged that they have benefited $5,000 each. Who are they?
They were giving 46,000, and then subsequently the 5,000 was the travel.
So once these records are available to us, and we have lots, clearly Act 959, the Office of Special Prosecutor Act, clearly seats the investigations in corruption and corruption-related offences to the Office of Special Prosecutor. I have cited an epistle by Mr. Martin Alamisi Benkaiser Amidu that they started during his time as special prosecutor. He started the investigations in respect of this AXA deal and the matters that relate. And that when Mr. Kissia Jabin came to office, that matter got off the radar as far as the listing of cases ongoing cases
that has been disputed by officials of the OSP.
Absolutely.
They said there was no
So
record.
they should act. They have the power to act because a whole statute grants them the jurisdiction to go into this matter, because this matter borders on corruption and corruption-related offenses, and they have the jurisdiction to go into it and investigate and bring finality to the matter. If any of these persons are culpable, we should hold the persons before the court and make sure that the appropriate sanctions are meted out to these people. Yeah. You see, we have done this to ourselves as a people. We have done this to ourselves as a people. When the NDC is in opposition, they see no evil here, no evil. If any allegation is made against an individual, it is blown out of proportion because of what the political capital they would like to derive from it. What happened in respect
and then
of the matter?
If you are in opposition, you saw
what happened
That's what you're saying.
in respect of the Cecilia Dapa matter? Somebody who lost colossal sums of money reported the matter to law enforcement agencies for investigations. At the end of the day, complainant turned accused. She was tried in the court of public opinion without any basis as to whether or not Madam Ziadapa had committed any grave offense that meets that level of what? Publications that were meted out to her, negative publications.
Really?
Today, Roland, whom does the amount of monies that were seen in Madam Ziadapa's house belong to? Has it been confirmed that those monies belong to the Republic of Ghana?
But the investigation was started under the MPP. Did you conclude it?
No, I'm asking. NDC has been in power for almost about 18 months, almost 2 years now. What has happened to the Cecilia Dapa matter? You see, do unto others as you want others to do unto you. In respect of Dr. Kwabena Donko, I respect him so much. I respect his integrity. But look, now they are teaching us the jurisprudence of the realities of governance. My brother Elikem is here teaching us jurisprudence of the realities of governance. Now telling us that, somebody can even come and say, because I know Elikem as deputy CEO, I can fast track, I can liaise with you and do this. He understands this. But when they were in opposition, they didn't understand it. When they were in opposition, they had no knowledge of this. Now when it comes to matters of bail, I'm happy that the NDC communicators are now law lecturers who have deep knowledge as far as the procedures in granting bail and those kinds are concerned. They are teaching us. They understand it because it favors them. Roland, if you are building a country, we must build a country on the anchors of our laws. Once our Lord says that, when a matter happens, the individuals alleged to have been involved in these matters are presumed innocent until they have pleaded guilty or they have been found guilty of the allegations that have been made against them. If we continue to do this, our country will be safe for all of us. But because of what is happening, nobody trusts. When you go to the court of public opinion, people are asking the question that why? Because the agreement was made. Is it May, June, and July conclusion? In December, Dr. Kwabena Donko resigned from office. Why? The alleged benefit.
You're a lawyer.
Is it because of the alleged benefit?
You are putting public opinion.
Public opinion. It's an allegation. It is not proven.
So why are you?
It is not proven.
It?
But because it is founded on certain records, official records that has come out. That is why I am saying that I trust in his integrity because of what he did in government. So many people in Africa will not do this in government. But he did. He opted to resign because he gave timelines and was unable to meet those timelines. I respect him for that. But this matter that surrounds him, he needs to move a further step. Apart from bringing out a publication or causing his solicitors to issue a notice to the public in respect of his position, I believe that based on his integrity, he must submit himself to law enforcement agencies for the law enforcement agencies to investigate this matter. Again, It does not call for only investigation of Dr. Kwabena Donkor. There must be a forensic audit.
Okay.
A forensic audit.
So this is what the case said. It said, for example, in April 2015, Beku and the conspirators discussed paying $1 million to the Ghanaian Minister of Power. They didn't say that they paid $1 million to the Ghanaian Minister of Power.
Have you gone further? The scheduled payment. Go further.
Yes, I've gone. I want to stay at that.
You want to stay at that, so you are choosing.
No, but I'm moderate. You want to come and moderate?
No, you are choosing.
Have you ended?
That they discussed, but I'm telling you that there was a scheduled payment of $1 million. Go through the document, and
Yes,
you realize that apart from the discussion, they went further to make a scheduled payment of $1 million US. This is founded on the record. It is founded on the record. So I believe that this matter, the Attorney General should come and address us as a people. Because he has addressed us over the months, several months. In respect of national service, he was out there addressing us. This is a major scandal because, one, the take-or-pay agreement.
But the Attorney General says that we are going into this. Does that not suffice?
Have you heard from Dr. Dominic Ayeni? Have you heard from Dr. Dominic Ayeni?
Why should it be? That's the office of the Attorney General.
Oh, please. We have only one Attorney General. We have only one Attorney General.
But the deputy has put together an official statement.
And Article 88, we have only one Attorney General. And that one Attorney General is Honorable Dr. Dominica Kutrini Ayeni. He is the Attorney General. Akuritinga Ayeni. He is the Attorney General. And no other. The Constitution and Article 88 did not name Deputy Attorney General. It named Attorney General. And we have only one Attorney General. We have not heard from him. But in 2025, we were hearing of him. In respect of national service, in respect of what? In respect of what? The Rambo in the jungle, we heard a lot from him. This is a major scandal because the energy crisis that bedeviled this country, causing us severe pain. You know, PURC, and I'm surprised that even $20,000 was alleged to have been made, been given to the former PURC boss or something. Hey, really? $20,000 PRUC. They should come out and also state their position because the take-or-pay agreement, the high tariff that we are paying in this country, can be as a result of this. Because in agronomic practices, you do tilling, clearing, tilling, plowing, and those things, and wait for the holy rain. And through the emails, as Antibaku says, when are we expecting the holy rain? These were the questions. And it was decoded. The holy rain was decoded to mean that the dollars, when will the dollars start flowing?
Hold on.
Yeah. Your co-lawyer's time is up. Now, the Attorney General, we know that has given the indication officially that there is going to be some form of investigation into this. If there has to be a commencement of a thorough investigation, should we also take cognizance of the fact that there's a reason why the judgment or the court in the US made a decision to only name the officials as maybe an official one or a so that just in case, after thorough investigations based on the jurisdiction of Ghana, because it impugns officials in Ghana, their reputations will not be maligned when also they will not be deemed to be guilty when indeed they are not, and they haven't committed the act or omission.
I agree, Ulan, but we must understand that the US officials really know the names of individuals who receive any funds under the AXA agreement. They know. Just that because of the caliber of individuals at stake, they want to subscribe to using some names so as not to make it clear to the ordinary individual that this is the person they are referring to. But, well, this is a classic evidence that we've been very slow in our anti-corruption fight. Very classic case. When I read, I was surprised the OSP supported.
It's a test case?
Yes, it's a classic case that we've been very slow in our anti-corruption fight. If the OSP has been supporting the FBI in this investigation, what stopped them from investigating the issue? What stopped them? Because they have the mandate. Were they expecting the government to commission them, officially commission them at a ceremony, a gathering with the pressmen available before they do their work? This is one of the reasons why people sometimes they go after the OSP. You have a whole legal framework within which to work, and you're expecting someone to commission you before you work. How then do you support an external government, but you are not able to investigate your own individual or prosecute people supposedly?
But how does it work? They were assisting based on a request from the government of the United States.
And so they are assisting based on a request.
For a citizen of the United States that had undertaken an act of
exactly. So they are privy to the fact that, and they are privy to the fact that there were some Ghanaians involved. In fact, high-profile individuals. They were privy to that fact. I'm not sure the U.S. officials or the Attorney General will solicit the support or the help or the assistance of the OSP without disclosing the individuals who may, who perhaps may have played a role in the AXA energy agreement. Roland, OSP has been very, very disappointing in this whole saga. And if there's anybody, any institution that I'm very, very disappointed with, it has to do with the OSP. Because if you could assist the US FBI and you are unable to even go conduct a full-blown investigation, that is disappointing. And if they are listening to us, they should know that they didn't do a good job. And I won't support any idea that the OSP should investigate this. The Attorney General should take it away from the OSP. Because I have maintained that Attorney General remain the only officer that reserves or has prosecutorial powers in this country. Any other institution may be by reason of delegation. So if the OSP is undertaking any investigation or prosecution that the Attorney General feels that they are not doing it well, they should record the docket and take over. So I don't and I will not support any call for the OSP to investigate this matter and prosecute anybody. The Attorney General's office should take over, because the OSP has indicated that with this matter, it cannot be trusted to do a good job on this case. But, hold on. Is this new? Is this the first time we are hearing that monies have been paid to secure a government contract? Is this new? You remember number 12? And Elikem was narrating where sometimes somebody will pretend that he or she knows him that much. Then the person will use that to con somebody so as to get a contract. You remember number 12 where Anas disclosed that some GFA officials were disclosing their relationship, directly tracing their connection to the presidency. And you remember PC Apiofori, where he said during the sale of Ghana Telecom, where some monies were paid to members of parliament. Is this new? Why are we surprised? Sometimes in this country we tend to pretend too much.
We're playing ostrich.
We know what is going on. In fact, it is because the US decided to indict Berko.
Otherwise.
But we know the system. We know what is going on. Even Ghanaian-owned companies have to pay. They pay monies to individuals before they can secure government contract. This is the first time we are hearing this. Sometimes the way we pretend in this country is too suffocating, and it prevents a very honest conversation in this country. Well, this is not new, which is why I support a full-blown investigation. Nobody should be spared. Parliament, PRC, Gridco, and I understand there are 2 women involved at the power ministry, the then power ministry. They should look for the identity of those women. To the point that some monies have to be paid to Gridco engineers so as to secure favorable information. This is serious. Roland. So full-blown investigation, we do need it. And nobody should be spared. And I will encourage the Attorney General's office not to let OSP, like I said, not to let OSP, in fact, come anywhere near this matter. Nowhere near this matter. They should give it to somebody else, another institution, that can do a good job so as for us to get what we need. But, Roland, this thing has been going on. If we want to be chasing this, we should start from home.
Charity begins at home.
Yes.
Meaning what?
Meaning, let's win out individuals who are blocking genuine entry to contract. When you want to award contract, people tend to become middlemen. bring 10%, I'll push you in. Bring 5%, I'll push in. These things have been going on. This is not new in this country. So when we pretend that, oh, this is the first time, but you see, well, we must understand that it is because the US has a strict legal regime punishing or prescribing such behaviors.
Corporate compliance procedures.
Exactly. But some other countries, they don't care. You think Turkey cares about this? You think some other countries care about this? They don't care. But the US and the UK and some European countries have demonstrated.
The EU, yeah.
Yes, that they do not want any of their individuals or corporate institutions to bribe any foreign country or foreign official. And surprisingly, if they have the FIFA. The FIFA is just most recent, which is
the professionals,
which is to punish those who receive the bribe. If that law had been in place before this act took place, I'm sure those officials named, those co-conspirator 1, conspirator 2, and the Ghana official 1 will just be extradited to the US and punished. But beyond that, I think the US must also take certain steps. But Ghana must take a very serious step. The president has indicated that he's aimed to fight corruption. This is a test case. It doesn't matter who is involved. And I'm happy that the power minister then has said he didn't receive any money. He has thrown the challenge to investigators that despite a so-called claim at the U.S. court that his office, but you see, we must be careful, and I'm happy that you indicated it. It didn't say categorically that he took the money.
So what the judgment is say, and then the official statement as well combined, say that there were discussions involving Bekun, etc., to go give so and so, and subsequently those were given. But they didn't say that he received the money, because it's very important, even before the statement of Kwabna Donko came out, we also needed to posit the conversation in such a way that they are truly third-party agents who play roles, mimicking so-called relationships they have with individuals in official position in respective countries, not only in Ghana. And it happens particularly in third world countries a lot. Okay, so there are countries like China, etc., who are not too strict on their citizens who come and do business here. But the EU, the US, etc., we've seen over the period in some of those cases that they tend to punish that as well. So that also should be taken into recognition when we're making our argument.
Yes, it's very important, because we must be careful, and because the thing is that I've had opportunity to read through or go through the documents, the US, the document emanating from the US court, and they were careful. Because you would note that if you read it carefully, there were certain information that was not available. So you will need, if you want to pursue or prosecute individuals from Ghana, you will need the full complement of the information.
And then their assistance and cooperation.
Exactly. Because the individuals, the co-conspirator 1, Ghana official 1, were not spoken to. There's no indication that the US court spoke to them or interviewed them to get their side of the story. So this is more like an information, a one-sided story. So I believe that we need a full-blown investigation. And, well, I'm saying that Parliament should not be spared. God, Parliament, this is not the first time we are hearing that monies have been paid to Parliament to approve a particular deal.
Well, which other time?
I told you about the sale of Ghana Telecom. PC appealed for it. He claimed they were paid. Did any of them deny it? And did you even attempt to investigate that?
To Vodafone?
Yes, to Vodafone. So this is not the first time. So we
must... It was even said to be a businessman who wanted to, during the vetting process.
Even there were individuals who claimed they had to pay monies before even being approved by Parliament. Well, full-scale investigation, Gridco, PRC, and I'm disappointed that I even read that PRC also took a specified amount. PRC. That's why they are doing a very short work.
The Attorney General, through the Deputy, they've issued a statement. You will consider that an official statement, contrary to what lawyer?
No, I disagree with
Lawyer Fuakwa.
That we should rather hear from the main minister. That's not the position, because the deputy represents the minister. So you can't get the two of them speaking at the same time. Who is then communicating? So I took the post from the deputy attorney general
to be the official position,
to be coming from the government or the office of the attorney general, and I respect that.
I asked that because he was on the tangent of presumption, so that's why.
Yeah, so some few quick ones.
Presumption of regularity.
Well, I was going to come to that.
Once you brought me in, I'm coming. Okay. Why you brought me on presumption of regularity? It must be on the letterhead, official letterhead of the Ministry of Attorney General, the Attorney General Ministry of Justice.
This is their modern means of communication.
So modern means
that has to be taken into account.
Then official handle of the ministry. Are you getting it? So these are not official. You see, the US court dealt with official email accounts, because in US their policy is that, let's say you are working for TV3, Roland, you cannot use your private email. If you have a private email, you must disclose that to your employers so that you use your official account, then they can monitor you because of some of these excesses. So Dr. Sremsai, my own learned brother, cannot use his own Facebook post to mean official publication. No, I will not take it that. Powers can take it that it can impugn, but later, if there's an issue, he can deny that it's not coming from official record. That was his private position. So it should be on official letterhead of the Ministry of Attorney General and Ministry of Justice. There we can take it to be succinct coming from the institution.
My brother is now telling us that when Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia was going around this country promising and saying all those things, it was just empty talk to the Ghanaians. And no wonder at a point he told clergymen that we have to pay you when we come to government.
I don't understand.
No, yeah,
which tangents are you going?
To say
because
that
he was a vice president.
Yes, that is a vice president to president when he's talking. And yes, I agree with him on private accounts, but they are not, the moment you are a public officer, there are no times where you take break and you are a private person and take and don so that is why responsibility is on you. It is also the reason why whatever you do is taken into serious cognizance. So this they should know. You see, somebody just sent me a message, Nana, bro.
Somebody impersonated you?
Yes. He said, I didn't even know. He never told me. He said he was the parliamentary aspirant for Yendi constituency.
No names.
Yes. Oh, his name is
no name.
Don't mention it.
Oh, okay, sorry.
But you he
said he nearly. No, this is nothing. He said, look, what you are saying is true. I am a former parliamentary aspirant for Yendi who is looking for employment at your office for my boys in the process. In the process, I met someone who said he's close to you.
Fantastic.
And promised me 25 opportunities. He nearly took money from me. I later asked myself.
For 25 people?
Yes. If I can go to see him myself, why should I let someone do for me?
Yeah.
That was where I came to you myself. Then I realized that the person doesn't have any relationship with you. You get it? So for all you know, somebody may have succeeded at doing that anyways. And it's so real that is also why it makes public office holders also very vulnerable. The mere fact, they may say you are not picking calls, but there's a call you will pick. The fact that you pick that call alone will impugn your own integrity somewhere. And you may not be present there to even defend it. But what I'm saying is that with what my brother is saying, again, you see, you cannot be cherry picking us and when it favors you. Do you remember a certain statement, the president is in my pocket? The president is in my pocket.
Yeah, GFE. Number 12.
When that all happened, what was it was influence peddling and all of that. But today you do not want to be
huffing and puffing.
You get it. And you see, I am surprised that my brother is very vociferous on this matter, but he has not been bold enough to condemn even Asante Beko, your MPP member, who Nanado never found to be a very strict person, but apparently has been so corrupt in the past before Nanado even appointed him. Does that probably not even presuppose that he even bought the position he was appointed to?
But that's
I'm just saying.
Did you buy your position?
No, I'm just saying.
Did you buy your position? People buy their positions.
No, I have not been found to be. I have not been found.
So the fact that you have not been found doesn't mean you did not buy your own through.
So you are linking.
If you are telling that somebody bought the position, then you are also an appointee and you bought your position.
At the end of the day, he was found good enough to be appointed.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So if he was such that bad, but found worthy to serve in President Nanado's government, you see, my point here is that while you try to want to make it look so political, be firm enough. At least it won't even take anything from you to have been bold and firm enough to be so objective to say that, in fact, the NPP condemns the act of Asante Beko. This is so terrible. We frown on it and do not take this position. MPs were even mentioned. Definitely, if MPs are being referred to, it means that it is from both sides of the
of course.
And that is a committee. So what have you said about that? It is a reason why I started from the basis of letting you know that these things happen. Fortunately, somebody also just sent me a message, which does not mean that is the exact situation anyways. You may not know anybody. And then investigating it, as you made mention of, the prime person who would help in this investigation will be the same Asante Beko. Now that he was undergoing a certain prosecution, probably it may also be a bit challenging for the current government or the OSP at the time to also get all the information that he needed. Now you will only rely on evidence that he has adduced over there, which may still not be concrete because you may want to go further the Ghanaian way. Because there are some things probably the US may not know or government may not know how to go about. But you will need Asante Beko also in the dock to question him. But the US government is definitely not handing you that gentleman. Maybe you can only find some truth after he has even finished serving his term over there. Because you can now say that in Ghana you can send Momo. So let's track your Momo number to see if that. Okay, in Ghana, you said you moved from here to there. There was a surveillance camera here. We can access that to be able to tell whether you met this person. So there's a lot more, which is why I don't know how you lawyers call it, the jurisprudence also, it can play a critical role. Yeah. It is unfortunate that they will just throw words out to say like conspirators. I believe that those all should be made so known so that if there's a need for any investigations, it is done appropriately. Because like we all said, it could be that no monies went to anybody.
That he pocketed it.
And he pocketed it all. Yet still, he is creating the impression. And so, because he will need to now be cross-examined if the process had to be taken through in Ghana as well too. Of course. So that is very critical.
Elikem, knowing that this is so much of a heated matter of public opinion and public interest, how swiftly then? Because around the table, it looks like everybody's agreeing that we need to swiftly move in and investigate. How swiftly would you want the AG to quell or count?
I want to believe that the fact that even the deputy AG has made mention of this 2 days or a few days ago,
that's 2 days ago,
means
or
that
yesterday,
means that it is no longer going to be only in the bosom of the OSP, which is a relief to me because. Yes, indeed. I'm one of those who are also not so enthused by everything about the OSP. There have been times where we've seen that they are also overwhelmed with work as well too. But it is a more reason why I have said time and without number that I think if President Mahama even needs to make any additional appointments, I'll even recommend for 2 or 3 other deputies, attorney generals, in order to do the kind of work that is needed over there. But the point remains that when a matter of this comes up and you have even the deputy attorney general comment on it, it tells you that they would want to look into it. By now they may be comparing notes with the OSP, looking at the judgment and trying to find out if the other parties on the other side can cooperate with them. Because I'm not sure that after the gentleman is sentenced, they will be saying that, oh, okay, he's been sentenced to 5 years or 10 years in prison, but you'll be having access to him in order to provide you information. He may not even be willing to give you the needed information or cooperation that you need, unless there are some other bargains in relation to that.
All right, let's talk about Adamus. If you want to say a word or two on your last, how quickly would you want?
Yes, so as members of the reading community, it is clearly unfair that Elikem will sit on this table, this big table, and say that because of this matter, His Excellency the President should consider appointing 2 additional deputy attorney generals for this. Why are deputy attorney generals investigators? Our deputy attorney generals investigators. So it is not correct that appointing additional deputy attorney generals will enhance the fortune of this country as far as investigations are concerned. We have clear law enforcement agencies in Ghana. The Ghana Police Service has been in existence even before independence. The Economic and Organized Crimes Office has been there for several years. The Office of Special Prosecutor has been there since 2018. The office was established sometime in 2018. They are there. The Financial Intelligence Center, they have been there since time immemorial. So we have all these law enforcement agencies, and if any of them cannot be tasked with the responsibility of investigating these matters, then how can a 2 deputy attorney general, additional 2 deputy attorney generals enhance the fortunes of this country as far as unraveling the mystery behind the Beku Gate, the Holy Rain, which is tainted as far as bribery is concerned. No, clearly we cannot accept this kind of call. And clearly, we want to hear from, because it's a major thing. It goes against the integrity of our country as far as fair play. You know, the Public Procurement Act promotes competitive bidding processes, that is giving equal opportunity to all persons. So if people are influencing procurement with inducements, then clearly it means that even people with the requisite capacity to be able to perform certain services will not be given the opportunity, and this is what the law frowns upon. So the guy, Asante Beku, was convicted on conspiracy pursuant to the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act.
Yes.
So in conspiracy, my learned brother is here, and you are a learned friend. You understand that conspiracy involves more than one person. So who are the other people? He has been found guilty of conspiracy. So once it's conspiracy, who are the other conspirators? So clearly, that is where our interest is. He paid, who received? We are interested in who received. And there are some named offices. Former Power Minister, or Power Minister 2014-2015. Technical advisor to the senior technical advisor to the Minister of Power, Parliament, and a whole lot of things. Let us go into this and unravel the mystery behind it. And that is why I'm saying that I am sad that if it matters on social media, TikTok communication, the police will locate the whereabouts of the TikTokers and arrest them. Sometimes they go as far as Sefibodi, they go as far as Kumasi or Boasi and go to arrest TikTokers belonging to the opposition MPP. And bring them to book. Why can't they locate these people with all the power, with all the resources of the state? Justice Doche in the Republic versus Prince Chibuda stated that the state with all the resources at its disposal should not be allowed to gamble the lives of ordinary citizens. The state in this matter is gambling with the life of the people of Ghana, and we should not allow this. Social accountability must be promoted, and the citizens must speak on this subject matter. Hey, Roland, on the Adamus matter. Okay. That's the topic you gave me. On the Adamus matter in respect of the revocation of the leases of Adamus Resources Limited. Well,
you have 5 minutes.
Yes. Well, the power is granted the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources to grant mining leases from behalf of the Republic, the government of Ghana, and companies who are interested in exercising that right to mine for minerals or prospect for minerals in Ghana. So once there is a lease, there are responsibilities on the lessor and the lessee. And if you breach any of these provisions, I believe that there are due procedure that law allows for the state to go through and remedy the situation. My only challenge is that if the enforcement of the regulatory compliance is righteous on the side of the state, if it is righteous, I have no problem with it. But where I will have problem is that if it is unrighteous, that will lead to the payment of hefty fines, damages, compensations will be charged on the consolidated fund against the people of this country. Then we will not allow it. One, there are laid down procedures that the Minerals Commission and the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources must follow. Whereas, if you find a breach, the law allows you to issue a notice to the other party to remedy the breach within a stipulated period of time. I have not cited the report of the ministerial committee that investigated the matter. I have not cited the entire report. I have seen excerpts on it published on news portals. That is what I have averted my mind on. But the detailed report that ensures that, yes, on this date, we found that maybe their leaching pond was not standard, and we asked them to remedy the leaching pond, and yet we gave them 90 days notice to remedy the leaching pond, and they failed to do so. Based on this, we are terminating or we are revoking. Yes, we found them that they have assigned a portion of their concession without ministerial authorization, which I have found as part of the publications. And you know, the impugned judgment in respect of Chemaun to me and Akunta Mining was founded on assignment of mineral right without authorization. That's an impugned judgment. Once we are challenging it, it is an impugned judgment. So if someone was convicted and sentenced to a term of 20 years in prison, and he's serving his jail term, although we disagree with the court, that is the foundation of it. And if Adamus Resources is found that they have assigned a mineral right without due authorization by the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, I believe that the applicable laws of the Republic of Ghana must apply. Again, The initial termination or revocation was in April. And the confirmation of the termination was just 2 days ago, or was it yesterday or 2 days ago, by the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources. I do not want to see an emotional termination. Meaning termination.
What? Because the minister has been there, giving assurances to the workers.
You know,
that
the reason I'm saying emotional termination is that, one, administrative bodies have the power to exercise discretion, not in arbitrary or capricious manner, because the Constitution places a sacred injunction on same and Article 296. And the minister, the concession upon which they are mining is the constituency of the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources.
And so
he has interest in that place, that the company performs well. No, not a negative interest. That the company performs well. And that maybe, based on his interest to ensure that his people benefit from the entire mining and those kind of things, he may act in a particular manner emotionally because he has the power to do.
There's a Minerals Commission that's acting in this instance.
No, the Minerals Commission only will recommend.
Yes.
They will submit a report to the minister, and the minister will go through the report and take the action, because the proprietary institution that conducts the regulatory of mineral resources in our country is the Minerals Commission. So they will then submit a report to the minister. The minister will go through with the ministerial committee and those kind of things, the technical advisors, and that will take a decision on it, because the power is inherent to the minister.
So where is the emotion coming from?
The emotion is that he is the MP for the area. He has had concerns with regards to Adamu's mines and the whole lot. As a politician, sometimes if a different minister, maybe say my brother Elikem,
he comes from the area, not only spanning the mining concession.
He comes from the area,
but there are other.
And the portions of the mining concession, the Salma concession, the Salma lease, Nkrofo lease, and other leases are within the territorial jurisdiction of the minister's constituency. I am aware of it.
That's true.
I led the people of Nkrofo to petition against Adamus. At the time, Mutala, may his soul rest in perfect, my brother Mutala Mohammed, well. I sent a petition to him on behalf of the people.
So you're very much
I am very much aware of the matter. On top of the
That's
matter.
Why I'm critically asking you the question, where does the emotive aspect, because this is the chain. It comes from the Minerals Commission, based on the committee recommendations. Then it goes to the minister. The minister also consults with experts, and then an advice is given, and then a decision is taken as within the remit of the law for him to take. So that's why I'm asking if the minister, so to speak, because he comes from a certain geographical area, and then we have contraventions of key regulations in this country, and regulated bodies have taken decisions and recommendations made, and then advice or consultation made, and then recommendations made again. You say that if a decision is taken by the minister in law, that will be emotional.
I said I don't wish to see,
because that's speculative. That's why I'm asking.
No, I said I don't wish to see the action of the minister being emotional in respect of this, the revocation and or termination of the mining lease of Adamus Resources Limited. Once you are the people's representative in a certain area, the concerns of the people will certainly get to you. And you see, at the time, the minister was playing a dual role. He has been the acting Minister for Environment for a whole year after the unfortunate demise of the Minister for Environment through the unfortunate helicopter crash at Sikaman in around Obuasi. He acted, the president appointed him to act for that ministry. And he is also the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources. In terms of regulation, the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources have a particular aspect that they manage. And the Ministry of Environment, Science and Technology also regulates environmental compliance and those kind of things. So now, all the powers now reside in one person. And this same person is the sitting member of parliament for the area. So if the people are talking about environmental degradation, they are talking about this, it gets to you. It doesn't get to any other person to take an independent decision and those kind of things. So I am saying that I have not cited any notice, because the law requires you that once you found a breach in respect of a mining lease, you must issue a notice by the mining inspector to the appropriate mining company to remedy the breach within a stipulated time. If that was taken, then it is okay. If it was not, and the procedure was breached because of certain emotions, then it will occasion a grave liability on the people of Ghana, and we will not take it. Again, my last point.
Your time is
administrative takeover. Minerals Commission is now managing the company on sustainability, that they do not, as it were, kick off their workers or ask them to go on redundancy and those kind of things. Help manage the situation and protect the asset of the mine until the government finds an investor. The covenant is that the NDC proposed a certain covenant, family and friends. we will reject any aspect of a family and friend dealing. It is not that a family member is not qualified to apply to be given the opportunity to invest. Once we are indigenizing our natural resources, it must be free, fair, and candid. That it should not be a family and friends affair. We will seek any opportunity to object to any family and friends affair in respect of the grant of this mining lease or renewal of the lease to a new person who is associated with the existing government and its people.
Edigi, sorry, I have to give you only 4 minutes. Sorry, it took time to do. I say he's familiar with the issue.
I am surprised at what my brother is saying, though, but I mean, to conclude and say that they object to family and friends. When this government, I mean, this is not a government of family and friends.
Indeed, Adamus is a local company.
Over 55 of the family members.
No, that's
some foreign.
Yeah, over 55 family members of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo were found to have been in his government. Some very notable. And some who didn't even have positions but were very influential, allegedly. And one of them was Gabi Ochedako. Did you know that?
So this government, there are people who are not influential, don't have an appointment.
Family
brothers of His Excellency the President.
You brought family and friends here. So please allow him to also...
Okay, okay. So I'm just directing
you see
that there are family members who don't have appointment, they are very strong.
Respectfully.
In his very early submission, he tend to lay credence to some of the very reckless speeches that are being made by social media activists and bloggers. And I continue getting surprised at the caliber of people who continue to make these comments. Do you know Chairman Abronye? They are one of the original chairman who is one of the loose cannons out there. One of the original chairmen. This gentleman went as far as denigrating your general secretary. When it was not favorable to him, he quickly wrote to your disciplinary committee to take action because the things that were being said were untrue. But here you are again defending reckless commentary, defending reckless speeches, and even issuing threats. Nobody has said don't insult. Nobody has said so. After all, even President Nana Addo at the time was calling Professor Mills Professor Doolittle. We took that in. Another also, no, he made an early submission like that about the fact that
President Mahama said. Give me opportunity, I'll respond to it.
You raised this issue. That is why I have to respond to them. When later they even said John Mahama was when you even said John Mahama was incompetent. Did the incompetence come before the Sakawa came? When you were doing this and it was being contained, eventually they also had to. When he threw one at you about the Achim Mafia, you didn't like it. You get it. And you are quick to even mention it here again, you see. But when you started referring to somebody as Professor Doolittle, etc., you thought it was okay. And you are even a lawyer, and you should know that some of the commentary by these so-called TikTokers and bloggers are unpalatable, unprintable. Your chairman, Wontumi, was referring to the president, his daughter. Pardon my French, I don't want to repeat some of those things there. But that daughter was in a classroom with her classmates. Imagine what the classmates were looking at her and what they were thinking, that they said you were having something to do with your own father. You could not condemn that. So you don't have any moral right to be talking of these things and be defending these things as young people even in particular. You cannot refer to reckless speech as insult, reckless speech as normal speech, that the police is able to go to here, go here. The police have offices all over. So he needs to know that. You see, at this point in time, I even wish that they will begin to now say that let us bring Ken Ofori-Atta down. They should be able to appeal to him that please come and answer for your stewardship. But I'm not sure it will happen because even when members of parliament demanded that he be removed, the president refused to do so. How much more when now he's out of jurisdiction and not under the control of the former president? Good. On Adamus, I must commend the sector minister, Honorable Emmanuel Amakofi-Boa, for taking the swift decision in order to salvage the situation. Because it has been established after the initial revocation, and then it was reviewed, that indeed there were violations of the lease in terms of their activities, etc. And the minister felt that as a minister responsible, fortunately, for lands and natural resources and acting minister for environment, science and technology, it was just prudent that he reviewed that. It is such a coincidence that, again, it even falls within his jurisdiction, not only his constituency, but his region as well, too. And he must show responsibility. That is why, if it was not the case, probably it will take an opposition to want to suggest that I hope that his decision is not being emotive. It is rather because he feels that coming from there, I must make sure things are done right so that jobs are not just lost anyhow. And therefore, they have swiftly moved in to assign the Minerals Commission the administrative responsibility to take over this matter, administration of Adamos. And then he gave the assurance to the workers that job losses will not be countenanced. Rather, he wants to even believe that persons or employees who were sacked must be looked at and called back in order for them to be restored to do their work. That to me is fantastic. And so now what it means is that the Chief Inspector of Mines from the Ministry of Mines will play active daily role in Adamos in order to ensure that there are smooth operations in the good interest of the people of Ghana.
Adem. You want to comment on the swift actions before you get to?
No, I think with the AXA energy issue and
Adams.
And the issue about
you look at the report, flagrant contraventions of the Minerals and Mining Act, etc., assignment of mineral rights.
Yeah, Roland, just a quick one, sorry. I've just got another message again of another person.
Somebody impersonated you.
Yes. So I wish to rather state here.
Were you giving money in that instance?
This one too, he said, she said, I think it's a woman, she said they paid to some people, somebody, and only one person got some job or so. So I want to state here on record that never will I or any public officer require money from you before giving you or helping you get job in any way under any circumstances. Anybody who comes to postulate that he knows me, he knows him, he knows that, please verify and be sure that you do not give out any funds to any such person. Thank you.
I'm setting up a GoFundMe for all the public officials who come here. So Elikem is one, Edwigi, the rest. All of them. But and then I know Lawyer Fwakwa too. When his government come to power one day, provide jobs.
Well, I think we must be able to sit with this conversation. You would note that Adamos Resources mining lease or mineral right was revoked somewhere in April. And they agitated. They said they were not given an opportunity to respond to same. You remember they petitioned the minister. And I have maintained that
that's public knowledge, yeah.
Yes, I have maintained that when you look at Act 703 as amended, particularly sections 68 and 69, it has in it an architecture of natural justice. That before you revoke or suspend or cancel someone's mineral rights, you must afford the person an opportunity to respond to same. And that was their complaint. In their petition to the minister, they said in revoking their mineral right, they were not given an opportunity to respond to some of the allegations, which was why the minister set up a new committee to probe the matter further. And the minister is saying that, per the committee's report, Adamos has breached key sections of Act 703, leading to the decision to affirm or confirm the revocation of their mineral right. But, hold on. Beyond the administrative measures, you must understand that issues such as unauthorized assignment of mineral rights and environmental degradation analysis, they are criminal.
Yeah.
In fact, when you look at the amended act, particularly section 99, it makes it clear. If you breach any of these,
1992.
If you breach any of these or the provisions under Act 703, you must be convicted. So, what is the government or what is the minister doing? I think this is an opportunity beyond administrative measure. We must get to
the liability state.
No, we must.
Where you hold people responsible.
No, that should be
because of breaches.
The thing is that you have taken a decision to weed out individuals and institutions that are polluting our environment and that are taking the mineral right for granted. The fact is that when you are assigned a mineral right, it is not a license to engage in whatever activity you want, but you must operate within the remit of the law. So if there is evidence of unauthorized mineral assignment, environmental degradation, among other violations, you must prosecute them, forward the docket to, or get the Attorney General, invite the Attorney General to probe the matter and prosecute where appropriate. But, well, we must also be careful that despite the administrative measures, if Adamos feel
aggrieved,
and they believe that they will not give you an opportunity,
we can go on a course of litigation.
They can seek judicial review. Don't forget that this is an administrative measure.
So they can go take government to court.
Of course, first judicial review. They can go to the High Court to seek a judicial review, for the High Court to determine as to whether or not the decision made by the minister rested on the law. So they are within their rights, and they must not feel that by assigning or by asking the Minerals Commission to take over the administration of Adamus Resources, they have been denied opportunity to access the Court of Justice. They have not. They have an opportunity to go there. But, Roland, the minister must publish the report. Full disclosure, transparency.
The committee report.
Exactly. I don't like this issue whereby we take decisions without publishing the basis of the decision. And is the
inherent in that report that also impugn the reputation of Adamus, so to speak. So just in case it still works in the industry, right? Because there are tax liabilities, forfeitures, etc. Beyond just contraventions or breaches, whether assignment of mineral rights and all that. He's very familiar with that. That they have tax liabilities.
Exactly, among other infractions.
Spanning 2020 to 20, and in the span over 200 million, etc. So
environmental.
Yeah, so you have to be careful. So that
be careful about what?
Because you are a ministry that's receptive to investment, whether from local or foreign, and then you don't create the regulatory reputation that investors somehow are not dealt with adequately. And I think from basic knowledge of the personal factors and etc., those are some of the reasons why investors shy away.
Let me even chip this for you. You see, the Jonah Capital matter in Nigeria,
for which is now gone to the
arbitration
international
at Paris.
This kind of thing. My position is that
we must be careful.
My position is that you have revoked or affirmed the revocation of the mineral rights. Publish the basis of the revocation.
Okay.
If it has to do, publish it. Transparency.
Okay.
Because Ghanaians must know you are acting in the stead of Ghanaians. And the thing is that, Roland, although we are seeking investors and investment into the country, we must also drum home that you cannot come and do whatever you want. This is a conversation that must be pushed out there. The investor, the so-called investor bringing his or her dollars must understand that there are laws over here. So
Austin, what's your constituency? What do you vote?
Okankwe North.
Okankwe North. Who's the MP?
OKN.
OKN. That's
Okankwe North.
Ernest.
No, that's the one.
Makion.
Teresa Wuni. Teresa Wuni.
She will fire you.
All right. Okay, so Austin Braco Powers, lawyer, and then Elikem, deputy CEO as well. You still hold the national position. Are you going?
Yes,
you're supposed to resign. Have you resigned?
No.
Or you're not going?
He's interested in enjoying the...
I have not resigned and I'm not contesting.
Okay. He has not resigned. He's not contesting.
He's choosing to serve in government.
Are you contesting any national position? Because I've been seeing you when they want to me, you are behind something you're addressing. Are you contesting national position? Lawyer Fuakwa?
I'm a servant of the state.
Yeah, servant of the state. Prince Nani Ayok lives in the UK. Prince Nani Ayok is a fan of Shatta, but he's promised that he'll go to the Beam Fest. That's 15th. That's OVO Arena, Wembley. He says the kinds of words and misinformation that could cause chaos in the society must be kept by our security agencies. I sometimes get surprised and worried why some people come on national television to defend such actions. Last week, one person was asked, would he allow the daughter to copy same? He couldn't answer. Let's sanitize our political commentary. I support the arrest 100%. Hey, Charlie. Master Planner Junior with a new number. I don't know this number, but I keep seeing it. So Master Planner Junior, Kintampono, who is now the communication officer for Kintampono for the MPP. Adamus' mine should not be later given to Adams. Ghanaians are watching closely, I think. Yeah, so, and then I have this one from Ni Atukwekwe, who says, we voted for oral and it must function well, no matter the party colors involved in corruption. When MPP sees review, they say it's cancellation. Now threats means free speech. Neodic, Ni Atukwekwe. Happy Homo War to you as well. Please, money ni money. UK says, please tell Afuakwa that could this be the businessman that Apia Kubi mentioned, who he said came out to bribe them in Parliament? And then he also says, Lawyer Afokwa, your AG and OSP were involved in the investigation during the MPP time in government. What did the government of the MPP do about it? And so it's a question. And then Simons Perez says that for all what we're hearing, for all we're hearing about MPP chop among themselves without thinking about Ghanaians since the time they were in government. In fact, any lesser Ghana. Okay. So I've seen yours as well. And then there's a reference that has been made to. So Doc, I see Doc Anoche is referring me to the judgment, and he says that the $1 million, it says Bekun and the conspirators discussed paying. The rest of the amount said payment was made. Schedule can be part of the discussion to pay. So when Kwesi Nyantakyi allegedly was conspiring to pay Ghanaian officials in the video, was payment made? In the US, conspiring to pay in itself is a crime. I think that also has been
even in Ghana, attempt. Preparation.
Of course.
It's an inchoate offense. It's an offense under our law. So there's no way that we can take ourselves from this liability.
Ebo Backman. What is lawyer Afokwa talking about? Asante Bekun was indicted in the USA in 2020 when he was CEO of TOR. The question is, why did the US find it necessary to prosecute him? Yet for 4 years, the MPP government did not initiate prosecution against the Ghanaian officials, and MPs are led to have been involved. Just do the calculation from 2020 up to now. Which one is longer? All right. Thank you, gentlemen. We're taking a break. We have the latest sports headlines.
A minute on what Felix Ofosu-Kwakye said on section 208. This is Felix Ofosu-Kwakye speaking. It is not the police to legislate for you and me what we can say or cannot see on air, so that it is not their role that they are doing now. Is the mission of a law which is clearly outdated, anachronistic, completely antithetical to democratic values, and absurd in the extreme to target individuals
Emmanuel Kutin,
who are critical of
Executive Director, Africa Center for Security and Counter-Terrorism. He was here yesterday. He said, in fact, it's not everything we do politics with. And I'm surprised my brother Afokwa from the MPP is taking this tangent. Is he saying because Dr. Bawumia comes from the other side, we shouldn't give him the opportunity to be our president? Let's hasten slowly on the Boki issue. For nothing at all, he rather belongs to both sides, as his mother is a Mamprasi and the father is a Kusasi. In relation to the majority move to... All right, my time is up.
I visited Gapoha yesterday, and I was so impressed that as late as 11 in the night, they were working and the 24-hour economy functioning over there. And I was impressed with the professionalism with which they conducted themselves. There were supposed congestion. A car? No, I went to meet a friend who was in need. And so there was congestion at the port, but the officers at the customs, etc., did their work very well. And Roland, let me just wish Peter Mensah, who is the Deputy Chief Executive Officer of Shipyard, happy birthday as well.
Okay. Peter Mensah, happy birthday too. We're taking a break. When we come back, we'll be having a lot of interactions right here on sports. Nana Gazo, good morning to you. Dasaba, break. We'll be right back.